You're on, kid.
Well, what I was saying was
That's how far I was interrupted. Yeah.
yes, so rudely interrupted.
Yeah.
There was a Valentine's Day, and my sweetheart I couldn't figure out what to give her for Valentine. We were at Southwestern, which was also known as the College of the Mississippi Valley. Didn't know whether you knew that. Now Rhodes College. Well, anyway,
That's the one that Richard Halliburton contributed to.
That,
Halliburton Tower and all that.
It's true.
Anyway, go
the
ahead.
family anyway, yeah.
Yeah.
And so I've tried to think of something unique to give her for Valentine. I went over to the Curb Market, which was a wonderful place. It was kind of like a farmer's market. You could get anything in the world you wanted along Cleveland and crosstown, and there was the Curb Market. So I go over there, and I got a sheep's heart out of there. I don't think you can get them anymore. And I got a shoebox and put some of that green shredded paper that you on the bottom for a bed for this thing. And I had an old Ben Pearson bow and arrow set from my Boy Scout days. And I got an arrow and stuck the arrow through the heart and poured ketchup all over it and put it in there and wrote a poem about how my heart bled for her. And put the top on the shoebox, and I got my mother's bathrobe sash and tied it around there, which would made me think of you talking about that thing. I took it over to the dormitory, and then you couldn't go up into the dormitory at all. So I said, you got a roommate to come down, and so I had a Valentine for Kathryn. Could you mind taking that up? No, I'd be glad to. So she took it up, and I and a couple other guys that I think were in on it sat down at the foot of the steps and waited. And just a little while, you heard a chorus of probably 8 girls saw that thing, and they were put out about it. And I've suffered ever since then for having done that. I think most people have forgotten it by now. That was probably 1951, something like that.
Well, you know, now it's going to be on YouTube, and no one will ever forget again.
Oh.
Is that the end of that story?
No, it went into that story, but what was I? Something led me to that.
Talking about that sheep's heart.
No,
What happened to
yes. Well, I get a thing, big picture in the mail. Leo is our only baby left. Leo is 4, and he's a character. He's really a cute kid. If I
like that name.
do admit that. And when I asked his mother, who was then pregnant, what you going to name that kid? Said, well, they were trying to, this was their 3rd child, they were trying for a girl, had 2 boys. They were going to adopt a Chinese girl, and that got to be very difficult. They just gave up on that after a while. And said, well, his name's going to be Leo. I said, you know, it's none of my business, but she said, that's right, it's none of your business. And it's worked out great. It's his little 4-year-old Leo. And he's a character himself. He's a lot like Clay. Well, he's now in pre-K, tuition for which you wouldn't believe it, Presbyterian Day School.
Yeah.
He is dissecting a sheep heart.
There you go.
Yes.
Yeah.
In commemoration of his sainted grandfather.
I know that he doesn't know anything at all about that. So you can still get a sheep's
Yeah,
heart.
obviously.
I don't know
Down
where
in the
they got
market,
it.
Yeah.
Or how long they had to keep it, but the little class were in there dissecting a sheep's heart. And I guess learning how a heart works
Yeah.
at 4 years old.
Gee.
It's pretty impressive.
So
Give
that's
them nightmares.
my latest exposure to a sheep's heart.